Hello and welcome to another video by yours truly, Tubasa. Today I thought I'd just do a weekly log update. I meant to do it in the breaking up video, but I talked on that for a little too long, so I thought I'd just break it up into another video. I have a little list with me, that way I'm making sure I cover all my bases. So, I know I started doing the dream logs. I'm going to give it a little bit of time, see how that goes before I start making more. If people think they're interesting at all, then I'll continue to make them. Maybe a later time when I get a little bit more interesting dreams. And I do have a lot of stuff written down for that. But I did have a dream this week that I remember, and it was so weird. And by weird, I mean I just was in a very interesting place because it was, in my head, the mountains of like Hawaii. And for some reason, we are on this very sulfuric like area. And there was like a building up in one spot, kind of outlooking this vast space that was just empty because it was like this giant plate of rock. And this rock was orange and white in color. And there was like little dunes or stalagmites made out of this orange and white rock. And it was very vibrant too. But I went from the building and I traveled down onto the actual plains, and a bunch of people were there too. And there was like a bunch of pooling of water that shone really bright blue and all that. And I just thought about how otherworldly it was. It was very cool. It was like being on, I don't want to say being on Mars because I've never been on Mars before, but it felt like being on a different planet with basically nothing but desolate rock that was a very vibrant color. Besides that, I had my typical stuff. The last 2 days got quite busy, but I think there was a lot that happened. So I graded a lot of papers. But while I was doing that, I was listening to my album of the week, which goes to Tubular Bells. It has 4 songs total, and the total runtime is only 56 minutes. And you might be asking, wow, 15-minute songs, that's pretty crazy. You'd be wrong. Tubular Bells has 2 songs that are 26 and 23 minutes long, and then the other 2 are like 3 minutes, 3 minutes. But I freaking love them. I love Tubular Bells so much. It's so great for listening to passively to get things done, as well as just to kind of sing along with some of the melodies that are in the songs themselves. And the types of instruments they use are very, very cool. During my time on Thursday, after I got done grading, I wanted to go, or no, it was Friday. Sorry. It was all on Friday that I was doing this stuff. But I get home on Friday, and I am thinking to myself, okay, I need to prepare for tomorrow because tomorrow I have the FE exam and I need to wake up super early to take it. Let's go to bed early. So I try and go to bed at about 10:30 because I'm waking up at 6. So I'm trying to get roughly 8 hours of sleep. And that did not happen. Main reason being is I had this giant creative power surge that lasted like 2 to 3 hours. And so I created this small character list and storyboard about this story I have in my head. It's 2 parts right now. I'm trying to think of like a third part to go along with it. But its theme is old 80s, 90s, 70s medieval fantasy movie. And part of that is because on Instagram I had been very enthralled and intrigued by the artistic ability that the AI has been able to create with the man-made looking figures of grand scale and these knights in these really sick suits of armor. And so I took some inspiration from that, as well as, the monsters as well, and created this story that I have in my head right now that I have on a Word doc. It's about 3 pages long, just of the characters and their motivations and little bits and bobs about them. I haven't even started writing it yet. But I think I should start getting on that now, like towards the weekends when I'm, not having that much to do because I try and get everything done. But especially in the summer, maybe I should start writing at least a little bit on the weekends when I'm home and try and develop some sort of story. It'd be very long, and I would love to animate it or make it into a movie one day if I decide to go forward with this ambition of mine. But until then, I gotta keep up with my studies. Gotta keep grinding on the video games. I swear, my addiction to video games is both a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing because it takes the stress off my mind for the day. It's a curse because I feel like I have to commit to it every day, which is wild to think when I don't have to. But I think it's because of how much commitment I've put into it, where it feels like if I stop now, it's all for nothing, when no, that's not the case. Anyhow, after my 2-hour power surge, I went to bed around 1:30 or 2-ish. I don't really remember. And then I woke up at 6 o'clock for my FE exam. Now, during my getting ready and during my preparation for this exam, I was going to grab a snack because there's a break in the middle of this 6-hour-long test that you can take. And I reached into my bag of apples, and I had ate an apple yesterday. It was completely fine. There was nothing wrong with it. But, it made me want to throw up. I reach my hand and grab an apple. My finger goes through the apple. And I'm like, oh, it's one of those soft spots. Okay, that's fine. I pull my finger out and look at it, and there's some smudge on it. I pick the apple up, and it's moldy. Oh, I get shivers just thinking about it. But yeah, it was a moldy apple, and I sat there like, I just ate an apple yesterday. You're telling me this shit's been in here, and I had no clue? Oh my gosh. So I threw the rest of the apples out, which is sad. I should add that to my list of groceries for tomorrow. But that was, it woke me up, I guess. It got me ready for the day. Like, there's nothing more alerting than putting your hand in what you expect to be a bag of apples, and then there's just mold. So, yeah. But I went to go take the FE exam today, and the FE exam was not bad. I really got slammed on all the water problems and hydrostatic stuff, and that's just purely because I didn't take a water resources class. Transportation was okay. I was able to get a lot of it down. The study session that I made for myself definitely helped with some of those questions. But the beginning and the end parts ended up not being too bad. I kind of cruised through both of those just because they covered topics that I was used to. And overall, I hope to hear back from them in like a week or two to see if I have passed. And hopefully I did. Fingers crossed. Knock on wood stuff. Like, I don't want to jinx myself. I'm very self-conscious about that stuff. But I should not worry about it for the time being. I got bigger fish to fry. And finally, after the FE exam, I went to Barnes & Noble's, my favorite place, and I got me some manga. So, I got 2 manga, which completes the entire part, if you will, because what I got was volume number 8 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Stone Ocean. This thing is sick. I freaking love Araki's artwork. I love how colorful it is, how unique it is. And I can now say that I have all of part 6 under my belt. Almost. I still need to read part 9. Sorry, volume 9 of part 6. But, just look at the cover. Oh my gosh. That's beautiful. That is just peak. Although people would argue that part 6 is actually one of the worst parts. I think it's okay. I think it's in my top 5 for sure. And I am now just waiting for part 7 to be coming out, which will happen in May. And hopefully next week there will be an announcement stating that Steel Ball Run will be animated, which will be so great because for people who don't buy the manga or read the manga and only watch the anime, I hope that Steel Ball Run is copied almost verbatim with small minor tweaks to make it, at least rated T. Or I think it's already rated mature now that I think about it. But, part 7 is so good. I hope they don't cut anything out. It's just beautiful in every single way. And I can't wait to buy the manga for it. What's funny is that part 5, I was also going to buy the final book for part 5 that I was missing, which is volume 6. However, they did not have it at the Barnes & Nobles, which was kind of funny because that means that I completed part 6 way before part 5, which is crazy because the final book for part 6 came out like a week ago. So I could have gone and bought volume 6 for the past like couple of months before I finished part 6, but we'll just wait on it. Maybe if someone's like, hey, can I get you a gift? I'll be like, haha, yes, you can. I have one in mind. But I am so glad to finally have all of part 6. I have all of part 1 and 2 as well, since those are the least amount that you can get, only 3 and 4 volumes respectively. I only have one book from part 4 and one book from part 3. So I do need to get on that, but it seems that on Amazon they are like $10 cheaper at points. So I'm kind of just waiting until part 3 and 4 get pretty darn cheap, so then I can just buy it all almost in bulk. Unfortunately, because I own one book from each part, I can't buy the entire thing for like a large discounted price, which is unfortunate. But there have been individual price cuts. Like one of the part 4 books was $14, which usually these things go for $20-$25 nowadays, which is wild, but it's a lot of paper. Besides that, came home, made some videos. I'm really tired now because I've been awake for the past 16 hours, I want to say. I should really go to bed soon so I can wake up tomorrow, read the last volume, enjoy my one-day weekend before going back to school. But who knows? I might make music. I don't know. I'll think about it. I probably won't. I'm actually really, really tired. Who knows? You won't know until I say what happened. But anyhow, I hope you guys have a good day, good week, good night, good whatever. If it's good or if it's okay, we're chilling. And we can keep moving on. So, I'll see you guys later. Peace.